Get your chips and popcorn. We're about to unplug from the Matrix together. And again, thank you very much for being here. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at Montega, Montaga. That is Montega, Montaga. There is only one Montega. There is only one America. There is only one you. And again, thank you for unplugging from the Matrix here with me. The show will start in just a moment. Don't forget, visit the Echelon platform to get all the amazing merch. Make sure that you are supporting the show by wearing it on your body. We have tons of new merch out there for you guys. So feel free to go get you something that represents you being unplugged from the Matrix and from under the control of the deep state and the Illuminati. The show is about to start soon. Hey everybody, this is Tony Montega, Tony X, Antoine Tucker. Thank you for being here. The show will start in one moment. So go make sure you take care of the bathroom breaks. Go get your beverage, get your chips and popcorn. We're about to unplug from the Matrix together. And again, thank you very much for being here. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at Montega, Montaga. That is Montega, Montaga. There is only one Montega. There is only one America. There is only one you. And again, thank you for unplugging from the Matrix here with me. The show will start in just a moment. Don't forget, visit the Echelon platform to get all the amazing merch. Make sure that you are supporting the show by wearing it on your body. We have tons of new merch out there for you guys. So feel. Due to adult language, themes, and images, I'm gonna warn you, don't have your children around. Please don't let your children hear the language. Please, viewers' discretion is advised. I gave you a warning. Now let's get into the show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because somewhere around the world it is truly what time it is, and I'm your host, the dopest political analyst on this planet and the most feared former congressional and senatorial candidate of these United States. Antoine Tucker, Tony Montega, Tony X, the truth, the threat, the legend, Neo, the wisest man in the room, and I'm here with you and we are free. From the Matrix. I want to say thank you very much for everybody that is here with me today. Tonight, this has been, it's going to be the most historical moments, the most historical year of my lifetime. My daughter should be born this week, so I'll keep you guys informed on that. And in the same breath, the United States of America has cleaned the house before the people's eyes. I know there's a lot of you out there who feel like we're owned by this people or that people, and you have a great deal of concern because evil people who have been doing horrible things, you know, have been running the world. And I want to get into some of the what we're going to call necessary evils, and as well as what we're going to get into as far as, you know, just patriots and people who haven't sold their souls. I want to say one time, shout out to Nicki Minaj. Just give her. Nicki has been in the industry for a long time, and for Nicki Minaj, it's been kind of a falling back, fell out of love. I know what it felt like for me to be in the industry and fall out of love with the industry, fall out of love with the idea of making it, because you have this perception of what it's going to be like being adored by people. And then as soon as you get to the door, there's someone telling you like, hey, there has to be some way we can compromise you in order for you to be able to achieve anything. Lucky enough for her being a female, she came across Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne wouldn't have anyone disrespect her at all. It was God, I feel like, helping her in her own path. There's a lot of pressure from the mainstream media and the people that they control to go with the flow, to not expose that there is no Wizard of Oz. The United States government has exposed itself for being a part of and participating in making the what is possible the largest and longest running human trafficking network in human history. And some would say that it's a necessary evil, because you would have to be able to do some of the most heinous and horrible things in order to, it takes a wolf to catch a wolf. So in this regard, there would be, someone would try to argue that you would have to be able to do whatever it takes in order to get a hold of certain people, in order to compromise them. And I don't think that's necessarily true in this case. I think this was a way for individuals with power and wealth to indulge themselves in some of the most perverted and heinous ways. This allowed them to feel even stronger and more powerful, because they were able to take advantage of so many people who they got to treat like animals, like nothing. The United States kept a secret because they would use the excuse that it would have hindered national security, that this was a way for them to get intel and information, and that's not the case. This guy was operating on behalf of the Mossad and the CIA, NSA, and FBI. This guy moved around and did what he wanted. And there is some people who, we can get to, what is it, clip? Is it this clip? There are some people who are suggesting that this man is alive. This is huge. The individual who anonymously posted on 4chan the morning of Epstein's death on August 10th, 2019, claimed he witnessed weird happenings at the prison before Epstein's death. Has been identified in the Esptein files. Roberto Grahelva, an officer at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York, has been identified as the anonymous prison employee who posted on 4chan. Epstein left his cell Friday evening, shackled in a medical wheelchair, while at the same time an unauthorized trip van arrived at the prison, which he believes took Epstein away the night before news broke of his death. And I will believe it. I will believe it. I will believe that a man that was allowed to move around the way that this individual was allowed to move around definitely was able to also be removed from out of this facility. Because as I said 1,000,000+ times, it's impossible for you to change the directions of those cameras or tamper with those cameras. Then there were people who brought up this a long time ago, which was the deceased's earlobes as well as nose and that of Jeffrey Epstein. And I mean, this is not me nitpicking. This is people who have just had time. Some people will say, oh, his face is sagging. You know how it is when people faces are sagging and, their skin is relaxed and so on and so forth. And, I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to this, especially with me not having access to this person's body. But I would say that there should be a DNA done on this person's corpse. If the United States of America was being blackmailed, then that means that the majority of the people who are in Congress that was not willing to expose this, which the majority of them were all participants, because all of them were put there as puppets. These people weren't put there with the directives sent by the American people in mind. And we're going to get into Jeffrey Epstein's last interview, because in it, he briefly discusses and talks about how a lot of these so-called elected officials are either actors or in the military, but they're not in the world of finance, so they don't really know what's going on. He spoke about fractionalized banking, how if you have one, you can still borrow 9, he went in depth and talked about how basically they are taking advantage of America. The Friday after Epstein's death, U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Berman of the SDNY opened the grand jury proceedings and subpoenaed 4chan, Apple, AT&T, and Citibank for records aiming to uncover Grijalva's identity following the anonymous 4chan post. Grijalva's name is not redacted on his bank records, including the SDNY subpoena response from Citibank for his 4chan post, and ties to the same prison officer, Roberto Grijalva, whose statement, I don't know if I'm butchering his name or not, but if it is, I'm sorry, sir, whose statements were released as part of the prison's investigations into Jeffrey Epstein, into Epstein's death. This is huge. We now have validation that the 4chan post from 8/10/2019 is a legitimate eyewitness account from MCC prison, officer that Epstein may have been switched out before news broke about his alleged suicide, which would make sense because it would be, to me, physically impossible for him to have offed himself inside of a prison cell. This is all done on purpose. This is one big, huge ass show. Yeah, of course they don't want this shit to get out. Of course they don't want it to get out. Absolutely not. They wouldn't want it to get out. And I also believe it's quite possible that this scumbag could still be alive. I don't have any faith in the United States government holding him in there indefinitely. Absolutely not. And Glazane is still sitting in the prison. Yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles. I can see them doing that. Yeah, definitely. Then they say that Jeffrey Epstein had a son. You know what? There are a lot of people online who are suggesting that this son could be Punani Mondani. What I will say is that all conspiracies aside and all jokes aside, Mondani knew when he was screaming Jeffrey Epstein's name in those files and using it as political banter, he knew his mother knew him. He knew his mother knew him. He knew it. Some people would say, well, Donald Trump was an actor. I think it's because he was rich that he got asked to act and basically played himself a lot. But I don't think from a kid he was cultivated by a mother who owned a production and film company. This guy has done everything he can do. Try to put out trash ass rap music. And he knew his mother knew Jeffrey Epstein because he knew Jeffrey Epstein. Same way he know Alex Soros. Look, man, say what you want about Donald Trump. And for everyone who was saying he was hiding Jeffrey Epstein and protecting Jeffrey Epstein and that he was in those files, How does it feel knowing that he's not in those files? At least not as someone who participated in something bad or horrible. They said he didn't give any massages. He didn't get any massages. He wasn't with none of that other freaky shit. He wasn't at the torture island. He wasn't there. And you don't see Trevor North. You don't see none of these people talking about any one of them that was there. Jay-Z's career is being trashed right now and exposed because people like Nicki Minaj got tired of the industry a long time ago. They got tired of the gatekeepers and the people saying that you have to do this or be this way in order to get far. They got tired of the abuse and they started to pull themselves away, especially when they had enough money. It takes a great deal of courage to go against everything that you know is built out there that absolutely destroys people's lives, that goes out of its way to harm your children. And sometimes you have to go against the flow. Sometimes you have to be willing to be right and be ridiculed and joked at and made fun of. Sometimes you have to be the example of what it is to be resilient, unstoppable, fearful of only God, and fearless when it comes to doing this work. I find it difficult some days, and then I remember what my task is and how important it is to make sure that we fight for the country. I will be taking off for the next couple of days. I have maternity leave, but I will have videos put up. So you'll still get content from me. It'll be small clipped videos that we'll do talk over, and we'll just keep the content up. And then Kim will also be dropping videos too, you guys. So I want to say to everyone in MAGA tonight, man, this is going to be an incredible year for every single last one of you. And for some of you who've lost faith in Donald Trump and you thought maybe that he sold out to this place or sold out to that place, I will hope at this point you realize that, he's got a track record of proving a lot of people wrong, man. You don't have to like everything that the president does. You're not supposed to. You should be at some point disagreeing with something. You're not a robot, and no one should be a robot. But remember what it would have been like had he not gotten office. If you do believe that there is a God and this God doesn't make mistakes, and if this God doesn't lead you astray, then this God saved his life for a reason. There are a lot of mysterious things that have happened. There are a lot of horrible things that have happened to us. And these things shouldn't divide us. It should make us stronger. We should continue to question what happened to Charlie. We should continue to question why we don't know about the shooters, especially those that were involved in the attempted assassination of the president. I do believe that we're going to see a lot of people held accountable for a lot of things. Whether it's people who were assisting the stealing of an election, or the individuals who went out of their way to illegally investigate and try to set up and assassinate sitting and then former president of the United States of America. I believe this is going to be the year that a lot of great things are going to happen. And if you're going to have a child this year, then this will be the year in decades that your child will not be forced to be poisoned. And you'll have a child that'll have the ability to have its pineal gland fresh and free and ready to experience God. I hope you're tapped in, because a lot has changed for the better. I've been a patient here now for close to a year. I wanted the best care. I wanted consistent care.
Sometimes you can go to places and when you do the reviews, you'll see, oh, you know, it's okay if this person is working, it's bad. But when you check the reviews on the Smile Doctor, it's all positive. As soon as you walk in the door, I was always made to feel like I was a priority. It can give you a great experience. The televisions on the ceilings almost give you a euphoric flying feeling. They find out what music you like. So even the music of choice that you do like, it's playing when you walk in. I had a debilitating tooth issue that was actually going to start eating away at my bone marrow. And Dr. Reed caught it very early on. He removed the bad tooth. The surgery was easy, it was painless. I have 2 brand new teeth, and like I said, they're very attentive. So they're gonna measure your discomfort, they're gonna measure what pain you may have, and they're gonna deal with it. It's just a beautiful and positive environment. The experience here is unlike anything else I've ever went to, and I just encourage anybody out there, if you're watching this, come see the facility, come listen to how quiet it is, come listen to how happy the people are when they're exchanging words to each other. Come experience what it is to actually come and smile with confidence. Come to the Smile Doctor.